Welcome, Xers. Thank you for joining me. Anyways, got a new update for you. It's hot off the press. If you probably have noticed already, HP and CPU rebalancing are going to be happening today. HP and CPU rebalancing today. I took down some of the long lists because there's a lot of new data that's coming through, and I'll distill it down to the nitty-gritty stuff, so you don't have to go through the math. And there's a lot of math changes. Actually, not as much as you may think, but enough that you may need to change up your teams. Okay, what is this rebalancing? What is it really? Okay, basically it's this. Those that had an unbalanced defense and special defense, remember there's two different values, those values will be decreased, and the HP values will be readjusted slightly. I'll get into a little bit of that. But overall, the CP formula did not change. The actual formula to calculate CP values did not change. However, some of the values were adjusted, and the basic attack formula did not change. What did change? Two things: base stamina and defense. Now, originally when stamina was calculated, it was basically you took the HP and you multiplied by 2. Now with the new rebalance, the HP is now multiplied by 1.75 plus 50. So what does that mean? Okay, so if let's say the hit points of the Pokemon were 100, the stamina would have been 200. Now with the new balance, that 100 times 1.75 would mean 175 plus 50, which means 225. So it's basically that it increased the stamina, in that case, by 25. Now, what happened to defense? Well, defense was basically what happened with defense. The weighted values in the formula were changed. Basically, the multiplier of the higher and the lower values were slightly adjusted by basically 1/4. And that's 1/4 of the higher and 1/4 of the lower. So basically, the higher went down slightly and the lower went up. What is higher and lower? Higher and lower is basically the higher or lower of at least stamina and defense. It's a basically a weighted value that completely calculates the total defense. So it's basically a 1/4 weighted difference to calculate the values. I know that's a lot of math, but it's just basically the higher the 2 and the lower 2, it evens it out a little bit more. That's basically what it is. Instead of having, just think of like two values like this, it goes like this. All right, who will benefit? Typically, who will benefit? Low HP, any Pokemon that has low HP with balanced defense and special defense, basically glass cannons, will benefit. Perfect example would be Gengar. Defense for that Pokemon were at a really stable amount. The HP values were so low that it wasn't really affecting the game. But what this effectively will do is this will allow those glass cannons to last longer in fights. That includes, if you're attacking a gym, PvP for the future, or any type. Even in a gym, if you throw a Gengar in the gym, it'll take a little bit longer for the attacker to bring it down. Okay, top hitters for your attackers: Deoxys, Breloom, and Gengar. Gengar being the highest. I will have a chart here showing you this. By the way, Metagross is still the champion of the attackers, with Mewtwo still being the second highest, and it's by a far margin. So this is going to be just a slight increase. Deoxys is still low in the sense of its abilities and its effectiveness, but it's actually a sizable increase for Deoxys. So this is a good thing. You will be able to use Deoxys more, at least in some attacks. Strategy will come into play. Gengar is going to be the one that will be affected by this. Notable changes: Banette, Absol, and Cacturne will be more relevant in the game. With the Scizor and Pinsir, typically what that means is if you have favorable weather conditions for that Pokemon, it's the top winners of the defenders, surprisingly enough, Umbreon has a plus 8% increase. Claydol and Shuckle, even though Shuckle is in the lower end of the defenders, it's in the overall chart. It actually gets a pretty decent boost. Even though it's low at the lower end, it gets a decent boost. Unfortunately, we all know for the defenders who's going to get hit. Blissey, Chansey, and Snorlax. But they are still by far the top defenders, so don't worry. It's going to be a 28% nerf on Blissey, 29% on Chansey, and 8% on Snorlax. But Snorlax and Slaking will get a slight HP boost in that recalculation. Remember what I talked about? That recalculation will actually help Snorlax and Slaking. So basically, here's the chart for the defenders here, and you will notice that they're still top in the overall chart. So don't worry, your Blisses and Chances will not be useless. And there are some minor tweaks for the old Lexi. It's very surprising. With all the changes, what seems to be the biggest, one of the biggest winners is Breloom. Breloom is going to be closing the gap with Machamp in the amount of stats and the amount of attack ability with it. And unfortunately, Machamp is going to push past Hariyama, so Hariyama is going to be slightly lower, so it's going to be a loser in this. And everyone that loves your Charizards, Blazekins, relevant again. Work on your Charizards and Blazekins because they're going to be pretty effective now after this change. As well as notable changes with Sceptile and Salamence. And Rayquaza is going to get a little bit of boost. Dragonite is also going to get a little bit of boost, so it's still going to be an all-arounder. And that's all I have to say about that. Now, I just went to the Access raid at 1, and without any, while doing the raid, there was a forced update, and that was about 20 minutes ago. And remember how I told you how I had 2 Chanseys that were unhealed because I wanted to make sure I would keep you apprised of any changes? Even though the rollout's supposed to be in 3 hours, they're making the changes now. The forced push-up is not just a code push-up, they're actually changing. I have seen 3 rollbacks so far, and I'm actually going to live stream this once I get in the car. So far I've seen 3 rollbacks where that one chance, because the two Chanseys are still in the status that I left them at, HP-wise. 374 out of 383. Yeah, 257 out of 263. Despite what they said, they must be tweaking out and testing out the updates. Let me just check my potions. Yep, it's back down to 2. And I'm gonna get in the car because it's cold. Welcome back. I have new additions and new news that just came out, and a couple things that they didn't specifically mention when I saw the update. I did record this in the live stream. I might as well document it here just in case you didn't get a chance to watch that. And if you don't really want to necessarily watch live streams, you want to watch recordings, here it is. A couple things. One, for Samsung S8 owners, as far as I know, there was a clandestine update that really wasn't mentioned in the news anywhere else that I found. First, let me get into the news because they did have a news update. The Hatchathon highlights Pokemon with evolutions discovered in snow. It's time to get cracking on the exciting event. Exciting. From November 14th to November 27th. Some Pokemon will evolve from originally discovered in the Sinnoh region, such as Rhyhorn, Porygon, and Magby will be present in 2K eggs. And that's from basically the rollover that happened at 4, Eastern time, to November 27th at 4. Bonuses: Pokemon such as Rhyhorn, Porygon, and Magby will present 2 kilometer eggs. More importantly, possibly, if you're lucky, you may hatch a shiny Elekid. So another shiny. Now, what they did not mention, and you have to look into your settings specifically for S8 maybe other versions, maybe S7, I'm not sure. But I know they had it for the S9, but they did not have it for the S8 or S8 Plus. The AR Plus. Before the rollout, that AR Plus was not in there. So go into your settings and check AR Plus and test it out and make sure it works okay. Now the other thing is, notice that the item selection window, it's too white. Okay, there it is. Let it focus. The coloring is off, and there was this Easter egg where if you push and hold on an item, it'll glow in a certain color, and you could actually make patterns out of it. That's gone from there. I don't know if anybody noticed that. So that was something that I don't think a lot of people realize, that the AR Plus is not for certain versions. Other news, the data for Metal and Meltan have been updated. And let me just pull up here. Okay, the maximum CP for Metal is 3875 with a attack of 231, defense of 213, and stamina of 264. Various move sets is Thunder Shock, fast move Thunder Shock with charge move Flash Cannon, Thunderbolt, Hyper Beam, and Rock Slide. Thunder Shock will be damage of 5. Flash Cannon will be 100. It's a single, it's a single full charge. Thunderbolt is a dual charge of 80. Hyper Beam is a single charge of 150, and Rock Slide is a dual charge of 80. Now, of course, that may get updated, etc., etc. And it looks like it's type 0.714 of bug, 1.4 times of fire, 0.51 of poison, and 1.4 of fight, and everything else is 0.714. So resist. Okay, so resist is weak to ground, 1.4, and fight and fire. So you just pick your ground, fight, and fire type to fight it. That's what we have so far, and you can figure out the starters and everything else. So I know last I checked, the Dex entry had that weird code line that I mentioned in the live stream. Okay, it's still listed there. Okay, in addition, some Pokemon with Snow Evolutions are now available to evolve if you have the Cinestone. So if you get a Cinestone, a mysterious new evolution item that is available through research breakthroughs. So it's not, as far as we know, it's not going to be a drop off, a stop. It's going to be through research, but it may be later on. They just said through a research right now. The Pokemon available now are listed below: Rhyperior, Porygon Z, Roserade, Mismagius, Electivire, Magmortar, Dusknoir, Togekiss, Honchkrow, Weevil, and Gliscor. And of course, Gliscor is from Gligar, Weevil is from Sneasel, Honchkrow from Murkrow, Togekiss from Togepi, Dusknoir from Dusclops, Magmortar from Magmar, Electivire from Electabuzz, Mismagius from Mischievous, Roserade from Rosalia, Porygon Z from Porygon, and Rhyperior from Rhyhorn and Rhydon. So you get it. Those are currently the Gen 1 to Gen 4 that is ready for the next evolution, which is the Cinestone. So that should be it. As far as I know, it's the latest and greatest is from the same thing that was reported on news. So there you have it. Now you have the latest information, at least I have, and everyone else may or may not have. But the AR Plus, I haven't seen too many people mention that, so check your phones for specifically for Samsung users. Anyways, take care and go tell me how it looks. I did notice one other thing since the upgrade, that charge moves have been executing a little bit slower than typical. Like the reaction time is a little off, and some minor, a lot of bugs they fixed has of course presented other bugs. I've seen some stalls and some delays in the game. But other than that, everything looks fine. So catch you guys later.